morning everybody. Today as we cover already the current ratio as well as efficiency ratio, what are the liquidity ratio that is there we have already covered. While knowing the short term solvency ratio, we already covered the liquidity ratio as well as activity ratio or efficiency ratio. Okay. So under this liquidity ratio, the current ratio will be there, and liquid ratio will be there, absolute liquid ratio will be there, and under activity ratio there is inventory turnover ratio, debtor turnover ratio, creditor or payable turnover ratio. So there are different kind of ratio we already calculated. Today we will discuss all the activity ratio as well as liquidity ratio under this particular question. Okay. So this question is a broad picture of whatever the things we discussed so far. Look at, from the following particulars compute current ratio. You have to compute the current ratio, then acid test ratio, that is liquid ratio, then stock turnover, debtor turnover, creditor turnover, average collection period. Assuming that there are 365 days in a year, then particulars given that 1st March 2013 the figures are there, then 31st March 2014 the figures are there. The bills receivable, the 1st March, that is opening and closing is this much, then bills payable 30,000, 50,000, then sundry debtor given, then sundry creditors given, then stock in trade given. So these all are figures are given. So then on the 31st March 2014 there were assets building, case in hand, case at weighing 48,000. Look at building, it is not a current asset, so building should not be considered, that is it is a fixed asset. Case purchases 69,000 and return outward 9,000. So whatever we purchase, out of the purchase 69,000 will be case purchase, and we return around how much, 9,000. Then case sales is 75,000 and return inward is 3,000. So we sold a case sales of 75,000 and the customer return around 3,000. The rate of gross profit is 25% on sales and actual gross profit was 75,000. So what is the rate of gross profit? 25%, and the gross profit amount is given, that is 75,000. If the gross profit amount is 75,000, what could be the sales? The sales will be 75,000 into 100 by 25. So that could be the sales. Out of that sale, you have to deduct the case sales and you have to deduct this return inward to find out the credit sales. Okay. So whatever the information given, we have to calculate this kind of ratio: current ratio, acid test ratio, stock turnover ratio, debtor turnover ratio, creditor turnover ratio, and average collection period we have to calculate. So one by one we have to calculate all these particular ratios so that you will have a better understanding about both liquidity ratio as well as efficiency ratio. No doubt this current ratio, absolute liquid ratio, acid test ratio, debtor turnover ratio, creditor turnover ratio, inventory turnover ratio, these all are coming under the liquidity ratio. For knowing the short term solvency position or short term liquidity position, we have to calculate this kind of ratios. Okay. So one by one we have to calculate so that you will have a better clarity about this particular problem, as well as to know or to check the short term solvency ratio, whether it is good or bad, whether the organization is good or bad according to the short term liquidity position or short term solvency position. The firm is good or bad, we can check. Okay. So first bit it is asked. So first bit is asked to calculate current ratio. We know current ratio is nothing but current asset by current liability. Okay. So which are the current asset are there, we have to see. So whenever you are calculating the current asset, okay, you have to take, okay, the value which is at the end of the year, not at the opening. So the current asset, what are the things coming? Bills receivable, debtor, stock, and case in hand and case at bank. So the current asset will be 30,000 plus 75,000 and 72,000, thereafter 60,000, 48,000. So which are the item which are coming under the current asset? The first one is, that is bills receivable, thereafter sundry debtors coming, stock in trade coming, case in hand coming, case at bank. So 5 items are coming under the current asset. Okay. So what are the items which are coming under the current liability? The items which are coming under the current liability is, as per the given question, sundry creditors and bills receivable. Look at what is the amount given for the sundry creditors. 52,500 and bills payable is how much? 15,000. So total, make a total of current asset, it is coming 2,85,000 and current liability, that is coming 67,500. So 4.22. Okay. So if you say the current ratio is satisfactory or not, yes, it is satisfactory, as the ratio should be 2:1. It is more than 2:1, so it is, we can consider as it is a satisfactory. Then acid test ratio. So acid test ratio is nothing but in the liquid asset by current liability. Already we know what is current liability. We have to calculate liquid asset. Liquid asset means current asset minus stock minus prepaid expenses. So prepaid expenses here not there, so only we have to deduct the stock. So current asset how much? 2,85,000 minus stock in trade, that is given, that item we have to deduct. So stock in trade, that is item how much given? It is 48,000. So 48,000 we have to deduct by current liability. So 2,13,000 by current liability is around 67,500. So it is coming around 3.155. Okay, so it is also above to the rule of thumb of acid test ratio, that is I think 1:1. So it is also a quite satisfactory ratio, we can say, as it is higher than the rule of thumb 1:1. Okay, so we can say it is satisfactory. Okay, so acid test ratio as well as what ratio we calculated? Current ratio we have calculated. Okay, after that we have to calculate the, what is the ratio we are going to calculate? We have to calculate the stock turnover ratio or inventory turnover ratio. Okay, so stock turnover ratio or inventory turnover ratio equal to stock turnover ratio or inventory turnover ratio will be cost of goods sold by average inventory. This is the formula you have to adopt. Cost of goods sold by average inventory. This is the formula we have to adopt while calculating the stock turnover. Okay, look at everybody. So cost of goods sold, how much we have to see? Look at the gross profit is 25% is given, where the total gross profit that is given is around 75,000. Okay, so how much will be your sales? That is 75,000 into 100 by 25. So how much will be your sales? That is 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs will be your sales. When gross profit 25,000, okay, the gross profit is coming 75,000. When the sales is 100, gross profit is 25%, then your sales will be how much? 3 lakh. Okay, so how much the cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold. How to calculate cost of goods sold? That is sales minus gross profit. If sales will be 100, gross profit will be 25%, 100% minus 25%, so 75% is your cost of goods sold. Okay, so 75% kiska? 75% of 3 lakh, that is sales. So your cost of goods sold will be 75% of 3 lakh. 75% of 3 lakh means how much? 2,25,000. So 2,25,000 will be your cost of goods sold. Okay, so we know the formula, stock turnover is equal to cost of goods sold by average inventory. Then we have to calculate average inventory. How to calculate the average inventory? That is opening stock plus closing stock whole divided by 2. So opening stock हमको देखना है, closing stock भी देखना है. जो opening stock कितना है, closing stock कितना है, divided by how much? 2. So opening stock कितना दिया है, closing stock कितना दिया है, divided by 2. So how much we are getting here? Here we are getting 60,000. Okay, so your inventory turnover ratio or stock turnover ratio or inventory turnover ratio equal to cost of goods sold, that is how much? 2,25,000 divided by, we calculated the average inventory, that is 60,000. So 2,25,000 by 60,000, that is 3.75 times. So in a particular year there are around 3.75 times the inventories are turned off in a particular concern or in a particular year. Okay, that is the stock turnover ratio, the next ratio we calculated, that is 3.75 times. Okay, hope you understand. You can write also 3.75 times. Thereafter in the question what is asked? The debtor turnover ratio. After this stock turnover ratio, so what is the ratio which is asked to calculate? The debtors turnover ratio. So debtors turnover ratio. What is debtors turnover ratio? Debtors turnover ratio, what is that? The credit, okay, who are the debtors to whom we are selling the goods on credit basis? They are our debtors, no doubt, to whom we are selling the goods on credit basis. So credit sales divided by average trade debtors or average trade receivables. Okay, so credit sales, first of all, sales is how much? We have to see how much sales, the 3 lakh. How much cash sales? That is given in the question. Cash sales is how much? 75,000. How much the sales return or return inwards? Okay, return inwards is 3,000. So this has to be deducted. So 3 lakh minus 78,000. So how much the things is coming? That is 2,22,000 is your credit sales. This is credit sales. Okay. So average trade debtors we have to calculate. So what do you understand by average trade debtors? Average trade debtors का मतलब क्या है? Average trade debtors means what? Opening debtors plus closing debtors divided by 2. Opening trade debtors, okay, we can say opening trade debtors, closing trade debtors divided by 2. Okay, so trade debtors means what? The sundry debtors plus bills receivable. Okay, then we have to see opening sundry debtors plus opening bills receivable, closing sundry debtors plus closing bills receivable. Okay, so how much we have to see? Okay, 60,000, then 50,000. This is the opening of sundry debtors and opening of bills receivable. Then closing of sundry debtors, closing of bills receivable also we have to write, divided by 2. So how much we are getting? 90,000. Okay, so credit sales, what is the formula? Credit sales, the debtor turnover ratio equal to credit sales divided by average trade debtors. So credit sales is around 2,22,000, then divided by 90,000 your debtors turnover ratio. So how much it is coming? It is coming 2.466. So इसका मतलब क्या है? How many times in a particular year the debtors are being turned up in an organization? It is around how much? It is around 2.466 time in a particular year the debtors are being turned up. Okay, so debtors turnover is over. Look at, if you refer the last bit, it is also what is average collection period. Average collection period का formula क्या है? Number of days in a year. Number of days in a year. This is the last bit we are doing. Number of days in a year divided by debtor turnover ratio. So we calculated so far as debtor turnover ratio equal to 2.466. So 365 days in a year given, and the debtor turnover ratio we calculated. Then it is coming around how many? 148 days. Okay, every 148 days the debtors are being turned. Okay, thereafter what is asked? Creditors turnover ratio. So creditor turnover ratio, how to calculate? That is credit purchases, not case purchase, credit purchases divided by average trade creditors. This is the formula. Okay, so how to calculate credit purchases? There is a question. We know opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock is equal to cost of goods sold. Okay, so how much the opening stock we have to see? We know cost of goods sold, we already calculated 2,25,000. Okay, then how much the opening stock we have to see? So opening stock, how much it is given? 48,000. This is purchases we have to calculate. This 72,000 given. So the purchases will be, we can calculate with the formula. So 2,49,000. We have to deduct this, we have to add. So 2,49,000 is coming as purchases. Okay, then the credit purchases will be the total purchases minus case purchases total purchases minus case purchases minus return outward So total purchases we got 2,49,000 with the case purchases 369,000. What is the return outward? 9,000. So it is 1,41,000. 1,71,000 will be your credit purchase. Okay, 1,71,000 your credit purchases. So these are credit purchases we got, and we have to calculate average trade creditors. Okay, so how to calculate this average trade creditor? Average trade creditors can be calculated, that is opening trade creditors plus closing trade creditors divided by 2. Okay, so what is the opening trade creditor? Trade creditor means sundry creditors plus bills receivable. So opening sundry creditors plus bills receivable, closing sundry creditor plus bills receivable. Okay, as trade creditor is the summation of sundry creditors and bills payable. So 37,500 plus 30,000 plus 52,500 plus 15,000 divided by 2. So ultimately how much we are getting? 67,500. This is your average trade debtors. So how to calculate? You have to use this formula, credit purchases. So credit purchases is around 1,71,000 divided by average trade creditor, that is 67,500. Okay, so this is the fifth bit we are doing, 2.533 times. The units will be by times. So this is all about the whole calculation of this particular, knowing or testing the short term solvency ratio, short term liquidity ratio, or short term financial position, to know or to check financial position, where we calculated the current ratio, we calculate the liquid ratio or asset test ratio, we calculate inventory turnover ratio, then debtors turnover ratio, thereafter we calculate average collection period, and the last one we calculated creditors turnover ratio. Okay. Now we are going to discuss, after the completion of short term liquidity position, a short term financial position of a concern, we have to go for the long term financial position of a concern. We have to see, we have to analyze the long term financial position. Okay, so analysis of long term financial position. So we have to go for another aspect, another ratio, that is long term solvency ratio we have to calculate. Okay, so for that we have to understand what is long term solvency position. Look at everybody, a firm can take the loan from different kind of financial institution, different kind of banks, different kind of long term borrowings, and debenture holders also. You should have enough cash or enough asset to pay off the interest to these creditors. So a firm should have the enough cash in hand to pay off this kind of long term creditors, like the debenture or any kind of banks or financial institution. It should have the fund to repay them. So if you are not in a position to pay the interest to that particular long term finance providers, like debenture holder or any kind of financial institution, if you are not able to pay that, if you are not in a position to pay their interest as well as principal, that means your long term solvency position is not good. When you can tell, if you are capable enough to pay whatever the profit you are earning, if you are capable enough to pay the interest to the debenture, pay the interest to the banks and financial institution, then we can say your long term financial position could be sound. If you are not in a position to pay the interest to the debenture holder as well as this long-term creditors like banks and financial institution, then your solvency position, long-term solvency position can be, we can tell that your long-term solvency position is not good. So we have to, or an organization has to check its long-term solvency position. For that, testing the long-term solvency position, there are different kind of ratios are being calculated. To check the long-term solvency position of the organization, there are different ratios are being calculated. The first and most important ratio is debt equity ratio. What is the first ratio? That is debt equity ratio. How to calculate debt equity ratio? That is outsiders fund, okay, divided by shareholders fund, outsiders fund divided by shareholders fund. So what are the things which are coming under the debt equity ratio? One is outsiders fund, another one is debt shareholders fund. Outsider, who are the outsider? Who are the insider? The insider are the shareholder. Outsider are what, everybody? Long-term loan. Okay, then debenture as well as this current liability will come under the outsiders fund. Okay, long-term. So that is known as external equity, we can say. Okay, so debentures, bonds, mortgage, debentures, okay, bonds, mortgage. So these all are coming under the outsider fund, or it is known as what? External equity. Okay, what are the shareholders fund? So this is known as outsiders fund. What is insiders fund or what is shareholders fund? What are the things come? Under shareholders fund, the main is equity share capital. Okay, equity share capital, then preference share capital, preference share capital. Okay, preference share capital, equity share capital, preference share capital. Then what will come? Reserves, whether capital reserve or revenue reserve, both will come under the shareholders fund. Okay, then accumulated profit or losses plus deferred expenses Deferred expenses means the expenses which we are not incurred but we paid. Okay, like prepaid rent, we can say that is deferred expenses. That is also coming under the shareholders fund. If you are not considering the accumulated loss and deferred expenses, okay, if deferred expenses you are deducting from the shareholder fund, then whatever the ratio will come, it is not debt equity ratio, that is known as debt to net worth ratio. Whatever the deferred expenses, if you are deducting from the shareholder fund, then whatever the ratio will come, that is known as debt to net worth ratio. So what is debt equity ratio? First of all, it is nothing but the ratio between outsider fund and shareholder fund. Means a business can do its business by arranging the capital from the outsiders, or it can arrange the fund from the owners. It is owners capital, it is outsiders capital. So outsider capital में क्या आएगा? लॉन्ग टर्म लोन आएगा, डिवेंचर आएगा, बॉन्ड्स आएगा, मॉर्गेज आएगा, करंट लायबिलिटी आएगा. So this is known as external equity. But shareholder fund में क्या आएगा? Equity share capital, preference share capital, reserve, that is general reserve or capital reserve, accumulated profit and loss, and deferred expenses. So this is internal equity. So the ratio between external equity and internal equity is known as what? Debt equity ratio. There is a rule of thumb is there. The ratio should be 1:1. What is ratio means? If you are using 50% of debt, you have to use the 50% of equity. If you are using the 50%, if you are using 1 lakh as debt, you have to use 1 lakh as equity. So 50-50%. Okay, that means we can say if it is 100%, it is 100%. If it is 50%, it is 50%. So that the ratio will come what? 1:1. Okay, so this debt equity ratio means what? How much is the this debt equity ratio can tell that, okay, what is the outsiders claim? Means the long term loan providers, debenture holders, their claim against the asset of a particular firm when a firm get liquidated. Similarly, it is also depict how much the claim of the shareholder against the asset of the firm when a firm get liquidated. Okay, कितना आएगा asset जब एक firm liquidate होगा, शेयर होल्डर के पास कितना आएगा, आउटसाइडर को कितना आएगा जब एक फार्म लिक्विडेट होगा. सो दैट रेशियो कैन बी डिफिक्टेड थ्रू आउटसाइडर फंड with the shareholder fund, and it is usually says that the rule of thumb says that the ratio should be what, 1:1. But there are certain business like contractor business where the ratio should be what, 2:1. that मतलब क्या है, आपका जो डेट है वो 2 गुना होना चाहिए, इक्विटी कितना गुना होना चाहिए, 1 होना चाहिए. If the debt will be 2 lakh, then equity will be 1 lakh. For what case? For the contract type of business. Okay. Similarly, also there are another thing is that there are one thing is the redeemable preference share. Sometimes it is stated that the preference share should not be included in the equity share in the shareholder fund also. So if it is irredeemable preference share, if it is, there are two type of preference share, one is redeemable and another is irredeemable. Redeemable means that preference share capital which the preference shareholder has to return to the firm, that is known as redeemable. Irredeemable preference shares are those preference shares which can't be redeemed after the completion of the particular life of the asset. Look at, for the redeemable preference share it may be included the outsider fund. redeemable preference share को कभी कभी outsider fund में भी include किया जाएगा, लेकिन irredeemable preference share को हम कहाँ पे include करते हैं, shareholder fund में include करते हैं. Similarly, remember, if preference share whose life is around 12 or more, it should be included in the shareholder fund. Okay, अगर कोई भी प्रेफरेंस शेयर का अगर लाइफ 12 साल या ज़्यादा होगा तो हम रिडीमेबल शेयर, दैट रिडीमेबल प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल इंक्लूडेड शेयर होल्डर फंड. सिमिलरली, regarding the current liability also, sometimes the current liability also not taken into account of the outsider fund also. Okay, if current liability if you are not considered, then the ratio can be changed. The ratio will be changed to what ratio? Long term debt, जो कि शॉर्ट टर्म एसेट को नहीं ले रहा है, लॉन्ग टर्म डेट टू शेयर होल्डर्स फंड, लॉन्ग टर्म डेट टू शेयर होल्डर फंड. यहाँ पे क्या है, सेम फॉर्मूला, बट यहाँ पे जो शॉर्ट टर्म और एसेट, शॉर्ट टर्म लायबिलिटी और करंट लायबिलिटी शुड नॉट कंसिडर. सो एट दैट टाइम व्हाट विल कम, लॉन्ग टर्म डेट डिवाइडेड बाय शेयर होल्डर्स फंड. यहाँ पे जो फॉर्मूला आया है लॉन्ग टर्म टू शेयर होल्डर फंड, दिस इज ऑल्सो डेट इक्विटी रेशियो, बट इन दिस डेट इक्विटी रेशियो व्हाट इज नॉट कंसिडर्ड, the current liability or the short term liability is not considered. So that's why the formula is long term debt by shareholder fund, where in the current liability or in the outsider fund the current liability is not included. Okay, so this is known as what everybody long term debt to shareholders fund. Okay. So debt equity ratio, one of the most important long term solvency ratio. How much extent the debt is there, how much extent the equity is there, what is the claim of the outsider towards the asset of the company, what is the claim of the insider, that is the shareholders, to the assets of a company, that can be known as to debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio, it may be 1:1. 1:1 can be considered as a satisfactory ratio. Okay. So we can solve a particular problem. So what are the things given we have to check? We are going to discuss. This is a question of XYZ Limited. Okay. So we have to calculate debt equity ratio. Okay. So what are the information given? Look at. So 2000 equity shares. 2000 equity shares it is given of rupees 100 each. 2000 equity shares of rupees 100 each. The amount given 2 lakh. Okay, यहाँ पे equity share दिया है, उसके बाद 1000 9% preference share P shares means preference shares of rupees 100 each. ये अमाउंट दिया है 2 लाख दिया है, ओके ये अमाउंट दिया है कितना 1 लाख, ये 1 लाख कैसे हुआ? सो 1009% प्रेफरेंस शेयर ऑफ रुपीज हाउ मच 100 each, okay so 1000 into 100 equal to how much 1 lakh. Similarly here 2000 into 100 equal to 2 lakh, that is the equity share, this is the what preference share, okay. Then capital reserve दिया है, capital reserve ओके जहाँ पे कि उसका अमाउंट दिया है 50,000. उसके बाद रेवेन्यू रिजर्व भी दिया है, देखिए रेवेन्यू रिजर्व, ये जो कैपिटल रिजर्व, रेवेन्यू रिजर्व, प्रेफरेंस शेयर, इक्विटी शेयर, ये सारे चीज़ कहाँ पे आता है? आउटसाइडर फंड या शेयर होल्डर फंड, ये सारे चीज़ शेयर होल्डर्स फंड में आता है, ओके ये फिर भी इतना दिया है, वो भी 50,000, ओके. उसके बाद 1010% डिवेंचर, 1010% डिवेंचर, डिवेंचर का नाम क्या है 1010% डिवेंचर, कितना डिवेंचर इश्यू है 1000, ओके. सो हर एक डिवेंचर का मूल्य कितना है, वैल्यू कितना है 100 ईच. सो अल्टीमेटली इट इज आल्सो कमिंग एज हाउ मच 1 लाख, इट इज गिवन द क्वेश्चन. सिमिलरली 12% लोन फ्रॉम फिनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन, 12% लोन फ्रॉम फिनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन, वो उसका वैल्यू कितना दिया है, ये भी कितना दिया है 1 लाख दिया है, ओके. उसके अलावा इज देयर एनी अमाउंट, करंट लायबिलिटी इज गिवन, करंट लायबिलिटी, ओके वो भी कितना दिया है 1 लाख दिया है, ओके ये सारे चीज़ कितना हुआ 7 लाख. उसके बाद इसको मैं लायबिलिटीज लिख देता हूँ, ओके इसको एसेट्स लेता हूँ, यहाँ पे करंट लायबिलिटी है और 10 लॉन्ग टर्म लायबिलिटी ऑल्सो देयर, ओके. सो फिक्स्ड एसेट यहाँ पे दिया है क्वेश्चन में FA, दैट इज रुपीज 5 लाख. देन करंट एसेट दिया है जो कि 2 लाख. सो 5 lakh 2 lakh, again the total asset is coming 7 lakh. This total asset is how much? This is current. So total asset is how much? Everybody 7 lakh, and total liability is how much 7 lakh. So this is the question given, and we have to calculate what? Debt equity ratio. What is the ratio we are going to calculate? Debt equity ratio. So how to calculate the debt equity ratio? Okay. So यहाँ पे इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल, प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल, कैपिटल रिजर्व, रेवेन्यू रिजर्व दिया है, एंड 10% डिवेंचर, ये कहाँ पे आएगा? ये आउटसाइडर फंड में आएगा, ये भी आउटसाइडर फंड में आएगा, ये भी आउटसाइडर फंड में भी ये आएगा, ओके आउटसाइडर्स फंड में आएगा, ओके. देन फिक्स एसेट, इट विल नॉट कम आउटसाइडर फंड, okay or shareholder fund, and current asset it is also not coming. So we have to calculate debt equity ratio. यहाँ पे आंसर मैं कर रहा हूँ debt equity ratio, जो कि फॉर्मूला क्या है? आउटसाइडर फंड, आउटसाइडर्स फंड डिवाइड बाय शेयर होल्डर्स फंड, आउटसाइडर्स फंड, ओके फुल वर्ड में लिखना है आपको, कंप्लीट वर्ड में लिखना है, आउटसाइडर्स फंड डिवाइड बाय शेयर होल्डर्स फंड. सो आउटसाइडर फंड में क्या क्या आया? आउटसाइडर फंड में डिवेंचर आएगा, लॉन्ग टर्म लोन आया, दैट इज लोन फ्रॉम फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन, एज वेल एज करंट लायबिलिटी. सो 111, सो 111 1 लाख 1 लाख 1 लाख. सो आउटसाइडर फंड कितना आया आपका 3 लाख. देन शेयर होल्डर फंड क्या है? मैंने बोला इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल आएगा, प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल आएगा, कैपिटल रिजर्व आएगा, रेवेन्यू रिजर्व. सो 2133, दिस इज 1. सो हाउ मच इट इज कमिंग? 4 लाख, 4 लाख. सो ये क्या आया? रेशियो 0.75. So the ratio 0.75 is to 1. It is nothing but ratio 0.75 is to 1. क्या ये satisfactory है या नहीं? It is not satisfactory, as the rule of thumb says that the debt to equity ratio should be more than 1:1. So it is not at all considered as satisfactory. Okay. Similarly, if we are calculating the debt equity ratio excluding the current liability, if you are excluding the current liability, then what is the formula will come? So first you have to deduct from the outsiders fund. outside fund में क्या deduct होना चाहिए? current liability को deduct कर देंगे, शेयर होल्डर फंड वही का वही रहेगा, शेयर होल्डर फंड दैट इज 4 लाख. सो 2 लाख बाई 4 लाख. So it is coming 2:4, it is coming 1:2. So it is how much it is coming? 1:2. It is coming how much? Debt डेट टू इक्विटी रेशियो एक्सक्लूडिंग व्हाट इज दैट करंट लायबिलिटी में क्या किसको एक्सक्लूड कर लिया, करंट लायबिलिटी को एक्सक्लूड कर दिया, जो कि हम बोल सकते हैं लॉन्ग टर्म डेट टू शेयर होल्डर्स फंड भी बोल सकते हैं इसको, जो कि रेशियो कितना आया 1:2 आया। ओके, हमेशा 1:1 रहना है और उससे थोड़ा ज़्यादा रहना है, 1:1 2:1 चलेगा, लेकिन ये क्या है 1:2 है। इट इज़ नॉट एट ऑल, इट इज़ कंसिडर्ड एज सेटिस्फैक्ट्री। ओके, so this is the first ratio under this particular long term solvency position, or to test the long term solvency position we have to calculate this first ratio, which is known as what, debt equity ratio, where outsider fund will be there and shareholders fund will be there. Outsider fund means that is all about, you have to think about the debenture, long term loans, okay, as well as current liability we are considering. Then shareholder fund we are considering the equity share capital, preference share capital, reserve and surplus, okay, general reserve or capital reserve, or any deferred expenses will be there, we are also considering that one also. So that is known as what, everybody, that is all about दैट पर्टिकुलर डेट इक्विटी रेशियो, जिसका जो रेशियो का रूल ऑफ थंब क्या बताता है कि आपका रेशियो 1:1 होना चाहिए। कभी कभी रिडीमेबल प्रेफरेंस शेयर को हम इंक्लूड करते हैं कहाँ पे, आउटसाइडर फंड में, ई रिडीमेबल को कहाँ पे इंक्लूड करते हैं प्रेफरेंस शेयर को, दिस शेयर होल्डर फंड में। ओके, then the next ratio, first ratio under the long term solvency position ratio, we discuss about the debt to equity ratio. Next ratio is funded debt. This is the second ratio, funded debt. This is the second ratio after the debt equity ratio we are calculating. Funded debt to total capitalization. Funded debt to total capitalization ratio. Funded debt to total capitalization ratio. This is the next ratio we have to calculate. So what is funded debt, we have to understand. So funded debt का मतलब क्या है, funded debt. So funded debt में क्या क्या आएगा, डिबेंचर्स आएगा, ये सारे चीज़ हमको याद रखना पड़ेगा. We have to remember, we have to by heart all those things. Okay, mortgage loan आएगा, mortgage loan आएगा, डिबेंचर आएगा funded debt में. उसके बाद क्या आएगा, bonds आएगा, bond. उसके बाद अदर लॉन्ग टर्म लोन, ये सारे चीज़ कहाँ पे आता है, ये सारे चीज़ फंडेड डेट में आता है. देन फंडेड डेट टू मतलब रेशियो. सो पहला जो न्यूमरेटर में फंडेड डेट रहेगा, डिनोमिनेटर में क्या है, टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन और सिंपली कैपिटलाइजेशन. सो कैपिटलाइजेशन में क्या क्या रहेगा, ओके, दैट इज इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल, इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल लिख लो. उसके बाद क्या रहेगा, प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल. ओके, सो टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन में क्या आएगा, इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल, प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल. उसके बाद रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस, ये भी रहेगा, प्लस अदर अनडिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड रिजर्व, अदर अनडिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड मीन्स नॉट डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड रिजर्व्स. उसके बाद क्या क्या रहेगा देख लो, डिवेंचर्स रहेगा. ओके, ये सारी चीज़ यहाँ पे रहेगा. ओके, डिवेंचर्स, मॉर्गेज लोन प्लस बॉन्ड्स. ओके, ये सारी चीज़ फिर से रहेगा, मॉर्गेज लोन, उसके बाद बॉन्ड्स, देन अदर लॉन्ग टर्म लोन्स. ओके, so we can say the funded debt is a subset of total कैपिटलाइजेशन. टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन का एक सबसेट है. ओके, टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन मीन्स ये सारी चीज़ रहेगा, इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल, प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल, रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस एंड अदर अनडिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड रिजर्व प्लस डिबेंचर, मॉर्गेज लोन, बॉन्ड्स एंड अदर लॉन्ग टर्म लोन रहेगा. ओके, सो अगर मैं बोलूँ ये रेशियो क्या है, फंडेड डेट टू टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन, फंडेड डेट टू टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेशियो. ये इसके बारे में बात करूँ तो पहला जो न्यूमरेटर में क्या रहेगा, फंडेड डेट रहेगा, डिनोमिनेटर क्या रहेगा, टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन. ओके, होल इनटू 100. ये रहेगा. ओके, एंड व्हाट इज द रूल ऑफ थंब सेज दैट द रेशियो शुड बी 1:2 और इट इज शुड बी 50%. रेशियो क्या होना चाहिए? 50% होना चाहिए. सो 50% का मतलब क्या है? यहाँ पे फंडेड डेप्ट अगर 1 लाख हो तो टोटल कैपिटलेशन कितना होना चाहिए? 2 लाख होना चाहिए. ये अगर 50,000 हो तो ये 1 लाख होना चाहिए, ताकि रेशियो क्या हो? 50% हो. सो द 50% ratio is considered as what? Satisfactory for this funded debt to total capitalization ratio. Sometimes it is 50% or 55%, not any big issue. Okay, so 50% or 55% is to be considered as a satisfactory. Okay. So this funded debt to total capitalization ratio, one problem will solve today and we will stop. Okay, so what is the one problem we can solve? So what is the item given? Just see, क्वेश्चन मैं कर रहा हूँ, एक क्वेश्चन न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ. सो क्या दिया है? 50,000 इक्विटी शेयर. यहाँ पे क्या दिया है? 50,000 इक्विटी शेयर्स ऑफ ₹10 ईच फुल्ली पेड, ये दिया है. ओके, उसका मूल्य कितना है? रुपीस में 5 लाख. क्वेश्चन दिया है. उसके बाद 20,000 क्या दिया है? रेफरेंस शेयर्स ऑफ ₹10 ईच, वो भी क्या है? फुल्ली पेड है, फुल्ली पेड. उसका मूल्य कितना दिया है? 2 लाख दिया है. ठीक है. उसके बाद क्या दिया है? GR का मतलब क्या है? जनरल रिजर्व्स. क्वेश्चन दिया है, मैं क्वेश्चन लिख रहा हूँ. ओके, जनरल रिजर्व कितना दिया है देख लीजिए. तो जनरल रिजर्व आपका कितना है? 50,000, वो क्वेश्चन में दिया है. उसके बाद शेयर प्रीमियम, शेयर प्रीमियम का मतलब क्या है? अगर व्हाट एवर द शेयर प्राइस विल बी देयर बियॉन्ड इट्स फेस वैल्यू, इफ यू आर इशूइंग शेयर देन दैट इज शेयर प्रीमियम. देन प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट that is given. $1,25,000. उसके बाद 7.5% डिबेंचर, जो कि 1,40,000 दिया है क्वेश्चन में. उसके बाद मॉर्गेज लोन दिया है, दिया है. कितना दिया है? 60,000 लिख ले. जो सैलरी क्रेडिटर्स गिवन 1,29,000, वी हैव टू राइट द क्वेश्चन. देन बिल्स पेबल, वो भी दिया है. ये सैलरी क्रेडिटर्स है, ये बिल्स पेबल है. 74,500. सो टोटल कितना दिया है बोलो? 13,03,500. ओके, सो फाइंड आउट. यहाँ पे क्या फाइंड आउट किया है? करना पड़ेगा. फाइंड आउट फंडेड डेट to total capitalization ratio. We have to calculate the ratio. and second में बोला है कमेंट. हमें क्या करना है? उस रेशियो को कमेंट करियो. ओके, इस रेशियो को हमें कमेंट करना है. फंडेड डेट टू टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन को हमें क्या करना है? कमेंट करना है. व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर? वी हैव टू सॉल्व. व्हाट इज द फॉर्मूला? फंडेड डेट टू टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन. इसका फॉर्मूला क्या है? सेम व्हाट एवर द रेशियो वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट, दैट इज फंडेड डेट डिवाइड बाय टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन. FD मीन्स फंडेड डेट डिवाइड बाय टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन. फंडेड डेट में क्या आएगा? वी हैव टू सी. फंडेड डेट में क्या आएगा? इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल आएगा, प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल आएगा, जनरल रिजर्व आएगा, शेयर प्रीमियम आएगा, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस आएगा. उसके बाद फंडेड डेट में क्या आएगा? फंडेड डेट में सिर्फ और सिर्फ देखेंगे फंडेड डेट में क्या आएगा. ओके, वी नो अंडर द फंडेड डेट मॉर्गेज लोन, डिवेंचर, बॉन्ड्स, these are the items which will come under the funded debt. Okay, look at debenture and mortgage loan. These two items must come under the funded debt. So funded debt, पहले funded debt जिसको मैं FD में लिख रहा हूँ, फंडेड डेप्ट. ओके, जो कि डिबेंचर और मॉर्गेज लोन. देयर इज नो बॉन्ड इज देयर. सो व्हाट आर द टोटल? जस्ट चेक. सो 1,40,000 प्लस 1,40,000, दैट इज the 7.5% debenture and the mortgage loan is 60,000. So total is how much? 2 lakh. 2 lakh is the funded debt. टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन का मतलब क्या है? इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल, प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल, जनरल रिजर्व, शेयर प्रीमियम, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट, एंड after that we have to consider these two also. So that this 2 lakh also we have to consider. Okay. So कितना दिया है देख लो. So ये 5 लाख है, 2 लाख है, 50,000 है, इसके बाद 25,000 है. This is total capitalization. Okay. Then 1,25,000, 1,25,000, उसके बाद जो कि 1,40,000, then 60. सो आपका टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन कितना आया? ये 11 लाख आया. ओके. सो आपका जो रेशियो है क्या है? फंडेड डेट टू टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन. ये रेशियो का फॉर्मूला क्या है? फंडेड डेट बाय टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन. फंडेड डेट टू टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन रेशियो. ओके. सो फंडेड डेट कितना आया? फंडेड डेट that is 2 lakh divided by 11 lakh. So 2 by 11, how much it is coming? It is coming, and we have to multiply by 100. This is ratio had to be multiplied by 100. So it is coming 1818. सो हमेशा रेशियो 50% या 55% रहना चाहिए, लेकिन ये बिलो है. दैट मीन्स द लॉन्ग टर्म सॉल्वेंसी पोजीशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ फंडेड डेट टू टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन इज नॉट सेटिस्फैक्ट्री. ओके. सो फंडेड डेट में क्या आया? इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल आया, देन प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल आया. ओके. सॉरी, फंडेड डेट में क्या आया? फंडेड डेट में डिवेंचर आया और मॉर्गेज लोन आया. टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन में क्या आया देख लो. टोटल कैपिटल में इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल आया जो कि 5 लाख है, देन प्रेफरेंस शेयर जो कि 2 लाख है. उसके अलावा क्या आया देखो? जनरल रिजर्व जो कि 50,000 है, उसके बाद शेयर प्रीमियम जो कि 25,000 है, देन प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट दैट इज 1,25,000. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, that funded debt also has to come under the total capitalization, that is 7.5% of debenture as well as mortgage loan, that is also coming under that. So that 2 lakh has to be added. Then how much the total of total capitalization? 11 lakh. So funded debt is 2 lakh, then total capitalization is how much? 11 lakh into 100. So 2 lakh by 11 lakh into 100, that is 18.18%. That means it should be 50%, but below the 50% means the long term solvency position of the concern is not good in terms of what? Funded debt to total capitalization ratio. Today we covered the two ratio and debt equity ratio जो कि 1:1 रहना चाहिए. ओके. जो डेट वो 100% होने से इक्विटी भी 100% होना चाहिए. डेट 50% होने से इक्विटी भी 50% होना चाहिए. जो कि फंडेड डेट टू टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन जो कि रेशियो क्या बोलते हैं? 50% रहना चाहिए. यानी फंडेड डेट 1 लाख हो तो टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन कितना होना चाहिए? 2 लाख होना चाहिए. फंडेड डेट 4 लाख हो तो टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन क्या हो जाना चाहिए? 8 लाख होना चाहिए. सो ताकि जो रेशियो है वो 50% आएगा. सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द टुडेज क्लास. थैंक्स फॉर लिसनिंग पेशेंटली. थैंक्स फॉर पेशेंटली हियरिंग the particular class today. Okay, hope you are safe during this COVID-19 situation.